Okay, looks like I'm live and ready to go. So I'm gonna do timing on file select. So we're gonna do this. Hold on, just 1 second. My mouse cursor is having a little trouble. Okay, I'm gonna be ready on time. Let's start timer on go. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so this is Chibi-Robo. This is a 3D adventure, kind of hard to define genre game that released on the GameCube in 2006. We're going to be piloting a 4-inch tall robot exploring the house from that perspective, and our goal is to help the family out and make them happy. At least that's what the game tells us. So for the any percent category, our goal is to be fixing and repairing a robot character named Giga-Robo. And in order to do that, we have to fulfill a couple of requirements. The first of which being that we need to locate a missing left leg for the robot so that it can actually walk. And then we have to refill its battery. And those two things are... well, the left leg we'll get as part of a story event. But the main focus for most of early and mid-game here is going to be getting that battery filled up. And as a part of this run, and what really makes this speed game interesting is, while it's like a 3D adventure run, it kind of routes and plays like a RPG run. So we're going to be managing 3 main factors throughout the run, and we'll talk about it more once we get out of this tutorial here. But the 3 big things are money, battery life, and the in-game timer. So we'll start with the money. So in order to get all of the stuff that we need to fulfill the any percent requirements, we need around 16k moolah, which is the game's in-game currency. That's a lot of money, so we're going to be spending a lot of our downtime grabbing money that we can just find off to the left or right so that we can get to that count. And I'll explain how we're going to do that, like I said, once we get out of the tutorial. The other thing we're going to be managing is our battery count. So the health system in this game is a battery meter. You start out with 80 watts, and it ticks down as you do basically every function in the game. So standing still, walking forward, using equipment, all puts a drain on your battery. So a lot of what we're going to be focusing on for movement is optimizing our wattage so that we can reduce the amount of recharges that we take. Every time we do like a outlet recharge, so like an outlet on the wall, for example, plug in. There's Chibi. We can plug in and recharge his battery back to full. Doing that costs around 15 seconds or so. So you're going to see me try to cut out as many battery refill visits as much as I can. The third thing we have to account for is the in-game timer. So this game operates on 5-minute day-night cycles. We're starting out in what we runners consider day 1. And every cycle after this I'm just going to call night 1, day 2, night 2, etc. And so for the any percent speed run, we're going to be using the 5-minute timer. In casual play, you can upgrade it to 10 and 15 minutes, but we want to keep it at 5 because a lot of story events are tied to how many cycles have passed, and we want to advance those cycles as much as possible. So a lot of going fast is making sure that we can get everything done that we need to in 5 minutes. And we have to make sure that the timer is running for as long as possible. So there are certain like areas in the game that will pause the timer. There are cutscenes generally will pause the timer, etc. So a lot of the big skips in this game happen to be cutscene skips because they allow the timer to run much faster. So those are the 3 really big things that we're going to be juggling right now. We're sitting in the tutorial right now where it's kind of just teaching us how to play the game. Something small that I did that I didn't really mention is that I put Chibi in a specific position here so that in the next couple of text boxes coming up, it'll zoom in on our friend Telly here. And the smoke particle that comes out of the Chibi house is kind of lagging, like it causes a lot of lag. So I don't know if I got the right positioning, we'll see. Okay, I didn't get it. But you can save a second off of lag reduction if you're in the right spot. But it's not a big deal, considering some of the other big time saves. So we gotta get this roast Jenny. Chibi can stuff basically an entire galaxy inside of his little skull cap right there. And then that's going to finish up the main part of the tutorial. Yeah, so they're going to give us happy points and 120 moolah to start. The 120 moolah is actually pretty important. Like I said, we're going to need a ton of money in order to be able to complete the route. And every little bit counts, so this 120 is actually accounted for and routed in. And if you were to look at my desktop screen to my left, you would actually see that I account for that and all the little extra bits of money that I collect along the way. So yeah, that's the end of day one. I don't know why, but everyone has a split here for some reason, even though it's kind of like 5.5 minutes of tutorial, but I honestly need that amount of time to explain all of the everything that's going on here. So we're going to be transitioning into night 1 right now. So the goal for night 1 is to get to the basement, because the first set of story events trigger after we get to the basement and grab the Giga Battery from Chibi-Robo. So, excuse me. So that's going to be our first objective. And if you've played this game before, you'll know that it takes several cycles to be able to actually get there, but we're going to get there in this cycle alone, so. Yeah, so right here, Tully's going to prompt us to save for the first time. I actually am going to say yes here. And we're going to save and reset. That's going to skip a couple of text boxes. And we're going to be heading out right on our way. So something also to note is I'm playing on the NTSC version. Not for any specific advantage. Actually, it's funny enough, it's much faster to play on Japanese version. But I like to show off this version for Marathon's sake, because I think a lot of the charm from this game is in the dialogue, and you don't really get a lot of that unless you know how to read Japanese script. So, plus that's the category that most people compete on, so I'd like to represent that at marathons. Alright, so moving on into the actual game, we're going to start out by sliding everywhere. So, for this game has a sort of skidding animation that plays when you start running in a direction for a bit, and then try to turn sharply. The game will try to start making you skid, and turn you around so you can start walking in the other direction. If you manage to hold a perfect up, or if you hit a straight, like, cardinal input when you're performing the slide, you can actually lock Chibi in the slide for as long as you can prevent the camera from moving. And this is actually more battery efficient than actually running around everywhere. So it doesn't seem like a lot, but a lot of the strats that I'm going to be doing throughout the run are impossible without doing sliding. And if you look closely, you'll see it actually saves a lot more battery than it looks. So we're going to grab the toothbrush here. So something also to note is it's also faster as well to do sliding even if you don't need to. And the reason why is that you'll have more battery when you go into a recharge. So it'll actually save a little bit of time off of the recharge as well. That's more applicable in tasks. But yeah. So we have to grab that toothbrush to activate a cutscene. I'm going to wander over to this Chibi door here. Okay, let's see if we get anything from the drawers. So the drawers can actually pop money out of them if we're lucky. Oh, okay, 100. Thanks, game. That's really good luck. So you can get a 10 coin, a 50 coin, and a 100 coin from a drawer. And getting a 100 coin in the first two drawers is really good RNG. You're lucky to get a coin at all, and the route I'm using today assumes that we're going to get 0 coins from any drawers. So I'm really glad I already got that. So that's a Chibi door. Each one will give you a varying amount of money, depending on how hard it is to find. So that's how we're going to get money throughout the entire route. Alright, let's break the game in half. So this door right here. Nope. So we're just going to clip straight through. And this one too, if the game will let me. Thank you, game. Alright, So that uses a trick called menu clipping, which I will describe how it works in the next cutscene. I have a really tough one that I have to perform. Okay. Please. Thank you. So yeah, we can click through any wall in the game for free. That's pretty great. So, yeah, so I just destroyed the game. So the way that works is that when Chibi-Robo does his skidding animation, he actually sticks his rear end out a little bit. And when you do this into a wall, it actually puts some of his model through the wall. And normally if you hold like a perfect forward angle, it'll actually just put you straight through certain thin walls. But that's basically TAS and no one goes for it. So what RTA runs do is we will buffer that forward input by opening and closing the equipment menu. And what that will allow is it'll buffer the forward input enough so it occurs a little bit later. So it allows us to go through slightly thicker walls. And we're going to use that throughout the run, to say the least. You can do it on any wall in the game. It's actually incredible. We used to joke that this game was unbreakable because for about a year, when we started routing the game, we couldn't find any major skips other than one, which we'll get to later in the cycle. But we found that just like out of nowhere, and then the game just kind of destroyed itself from there. So that's like the big one. The other thing you might have noticed is there was a coin sitting there out of bounds. The developers left a gold, like, 100 coin out of bounds for no discernible reason. We don't know why it's there. It's just kind of sitting there. And that refreshes every cycle, so every time it switches from day to night, or vice versa. So that's a free 100 for our route every time we collect it. So you'll see me go back there, maybe, oh, gosh darn it, I'm not supposed to say yes. Whoops. Alright. So, I'm gonna lose, like, 10 seconds for hitting the wrong cutscene dialogue. Whoops! Might be. But it'll put on the outfit for us, so that's kind of nice. Oh my gosh, I'm actually terrible. I'm trying too hard to focus on commentating, so he's gonna make me do this again. Gosh dang it. Not a big deal. Estimate's super lenient, so say no. Thank you, Drake. You jerk. So, what we're trying to do in this cycle is get to the basement, like I said. And in order to do that, we have to escape from the living room. Okay. I did not even touch the left stick. I don't know what happened there. But to get there, we have to jump through a bunch of hoops. We need this costume and its pose to get past a character named Sophie who's blocking the way. And to do that, we had to grab the toothbrush, clean a couple of stains, and activate a cutscene. We've tried a million different ways to skip past Sophie and get to the kitchen early. And we've actually clipped out of bounds and, excuse me, gotten behind Sophie to where the loading zone to the door is. But the game soft locks if you try to do it like that, because it also tries to load the cutscene, no matter what. And yeah, there's nowhere to go on that end, but it's not a big deal. So the toothbrush is required, unfortunately, and we get to pose with Drake here. So we do need this pose. Speaking more to my battery route, I have it specifically routed, so I have at least 35 battery going into Sophie here. You need 30 battery to perform the pose, but the game wants you to have 35 at minimum so that you don't die. So we have to do this pose here. And because it tries to make it difficult, Drake will sometimes put a delay into when you have to time the pose. So a little bit of luck here. Alright, that was pretty fast. Sometimes I'll wait for like an extra 4 or 5 seconds. It's just really bad. But we got good Drake, so that's good. So yeah, if my battery route was a little bit better, and if I got all of those out of bounds clips first try, I would have been able to fish another drawer for Moolah. And opening as many drawers as you can overall will just make your money route more lenient, if you will, because you have more opportunities to miss doors if you need to. If I get really good luck, I'll actually be able to route out a couple of the doors. Because the problem with the doors is that every time you open one, and every time you go inside one, it pauses the in-game timer. So you're going to see me try to route out a couple of those, if I can, throughout the remainder of the run, but we'll see what ends up happening here. So I'm actually going to take off the Drake Redcrest suit. If you talk to Sophie while it's on, she'll do, like, another, text box trigger, so... We have to sit through this cutscene before we can talk to Sophie. It's kind of annoying, but... I kind of like this cutscene. Sophie's a really goofy character. This game has amazing characters all around. It's kind of something the series is known for, except for a certain game in the series that will not be mentioned. But, yeah, not too much to talk about here until we get into the kitchen. Gonna take a swig of the water. So yeah, once we get past Sophie, and these first couple of cycles, our options are really gonna open up because all of like the tutorial stuff is done, and we can basically have the freedom to go anywhere we want. Normally in a casual playthrough you don't, but this isn't a casual playthrough to say the least. Also, fun fact, if you've played this game before, you probably haven't noticed this. If you look at Telly closely right here, he clips right through the diary when Sophie opens it. This game has an NPC out of bounds clip, because it's perfect in every way. So I think I'm too low on battery to open the door, so I'm gonna take a safety recharge. Excuse me. So yeah, kind of unfortunate. So you're gonna see sort of the cost of inefficient battery routing is gonna be probably another door right here. So I'm gonna try to show something off on you. Oh, I didn't get it. If you grab the plug as you enter a loading zone, it does a funny little glitch, but kind of hard to describe. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a recharge. So opening a Chibi door costs 10, and normally I'm supposed to have around 13 to 15 with optimal battery play there, but not a big deal. We normally recharge here anyway, so I'm gonna see if I can squeeze in, or still route out the battery charge. So yeah, you're gonna see me optimize my movement inside of a Chibi door as well, just to make sure I can get the timer moving as fast as possible again. Gonna, kind of risky, but gonna go for these drawers right here. There we go. Get fish for some extra money here. So we got a 10. Let's see if we can get some more. There we go, 50. That's really good. Alright, and so now we need to get to the foyer, and we're just gonna skip right to it by clipping through that wall. Nice, I got it first try. That's gonna be really good for my battery route coming up here. So, if you've played this game casually before, you're gonna be very confused / slightly upset, because there's normally this drawn-out sequence where you have to get an item called the mug to skip past the free rangers here. But if you come through the kitchen and clip through the wall to the loading zone, it skips that entire sequence, so we completely skip the mug in the speedrun. Just completely ridiculous. And the cutscene that would play is like 3 minutes long or so, or like 2 minutes. It's actually stupid, so really big skip. Gets us to the basement on the first night cycle as well, which is really important. Normally you're not able to collect the mug until the second day cycle. So we're here early, and coming up in the basement, we're going to get to a... we actually don't have a piece of equipment called the blaster to fully explore the area, but I don't really care. So we're going to do a trick called early rafters. I'm going to line this up real quick. And hold on a second. Nice, first try. Okay, so I clipped through the wall with the Chibi-Copter out, and it let me hover to the swing that lets you get up onto the rafters. Normally you have to sit through like a long cutscene with another character we'll see in a little bit. You have to do, like, all this climbing. You have to have the blaster to even get up here. So this opens up some flexibility, allowing us to get here without needing the blaster. Which will make a little bit more sense once we get to the cycle after this. But gonna be a little bit careful just to not fall. Also, I should mention that if I'm doing a slide and I like am about to fall off a ledge, I'll just fall and die. Yeah, just playing it pretty risky, but gotta go ham for the crowd. So that's the Giga Charger. Really important quest item that we have to get here. It allows us to charge up the Giga Battery, and like I said, that's one of the really important quest objectives to complete the any % category. So Telly's going to exposition us about Chibi-Robo, even though we haven't seen the introductory cutscene with him. Also, oops. Oh, crap. Alright, we're good. That wasn't very convincing, but you can fall into the cutscene there and not take any damage. So now we're basically going to go through the cutscenes, like, completely out of order here. We're going to plug into Chibi-Robo here, and he's going to drop the battery. And it's actually going to play a really cool cutscene coming up here. I'll explain a little bit, but we need to be, this is the story event that, sort of motions into course all the other stuff that we're going to be doing in the any % run, so yeah. Can I get a Bible thump for Chibi-Robo here? Also, fun fact, saying yes or no there doesn't matter. You get the same text box. You will see me being, saying no sometimes to certain text boxes just because Tully's response will be faster, so yeah. This next cutscene coming up, I always like to play it quiet here because I think this is a really good example of the game showing instead of telling as far as story goes. So I'm going to be a bit quiet here while this cutscene plays and just let it soak in. Alright, hope you all thought that was cool. That's my favorite cutscene in the run, so I really like to give that the spotlight in this portion. Alright, so now that we've gone through the fields, the game is rewarding us with the battery. Can we also talk about the poster on the wall with the cans doing the can? It's something you notice, but like you don't really think about it until someone points it out, and now I've just cursed you all with that thought. So I apologize, but also like level with me, like why? So weird. So there's the mystical glowy object that's probably important. Alright. And then more cutscene. Tully's gonna get very sad. And then he's literally going to cry. We know for a fact that he literally cries because in the cutscene after, we're literally going to walk over his puddles of tears. And you can clean them up and, like, stuff. It's... I don't know. But I'm gonna mash all the buttons. So something about the text in this game, you don't actually have to mash, but the sooner that the dialogue pop-up to end the text box appears, it'll close it and start the next one. So it is important just not to, like, mindlessly mash. So I'm going to say no here. And Toa's going to stop expositioning us for a second. Gonna walk over his tiers here real quick and grab the battery. And now we're going into more exposition. Yeah, this first cycle is the most cutscene heavy. Just because we're breaking the flow of the game so bad that all of the important story cutscenes that are normally appropriately paced out are just all together in a sequence. And it just... It doesn't flow the best, but it's kind of a nice mental break, especially going into the cycle ahead, which I would consider to be most difficult. People would easily fight over that with me, but day 2 is really scary, so I enjoy having this break. Something I also like to point out here just some of the little things that the developers did to make it special is kind of how the text changed, like, the way that they use the text boxes to sort of indicate how the characters talk. So, for example, when, like, Telly's being, like, super shy, his text will get smaller, and the letters will be shaking to imply that he, too, is shaking. And like, stuff like that. You'll see, like, text get larger when they're yelling. Things of that nature. It adds sort of to the immersion of it, and especially because all of the voices are babbling, it really kind of fills in some of the characterization that you don't have due to the voice acting limitations, but this ambience is also really good in the music. So yeah, while I'm here, I should probably address a pretty decently sized elephant in the room. You might have noticed that there's a lot of trash lying around, and if you played it casually, you'll know that you can pick up trash and throw it out to get a bunch of moolah, and that's how a lot of casual players will get the money. But we actually don't collect trash at all in the run. It's actually slow, for a lot of reasons. So the first thing is that throwing out trash also gets you happiness points. And I'll go on my happiness points rant later, when there's more cutscene to get through, but we don't want happiness points. On top of that, throwing out trash pauses the in-game timer for so long that it's just faster to do doors. The amount of in-game timer pause is less throughout the run with doors than it is with money. So that's something to keep in mind as well. It's just not efficient from a time/money perspective. We used to in very, very old school routes, and some beginner players will choose to throw out some trash and grab some as a safety precaution, but yeah, we don't pick up trash at all, which is completely hilarious since, like, the entire point of this game is to pick up trash and, you know, clean the house and make people happy, but it's completely irrelevant. It's actually completely irrelevant, and there's something about that that's really funny, because we're kind of, like, spitting in the face of the developers a bit. And it's also kind of, like, playing into the game's irony of, like, material, like, values such as, like, money being the most worth. Okay, to be fair, we do spread happiness, but only when, like, a gun's pointed to our head, if you will. So I think, because I got early rafters first try, I'm going to be able to route out the battery charge that I was worried about. So we should be looking good. We're actually going to go back upstairs and into the foyer to activate another story cutscene just to get it out of the way now. And then there's an extra door and a couple of drawers we can open just to get a little bit of extra money going into the next cycle. Please don't eat my slide game. Yeah, so we have 30 battery. We have plenty of lots to play with. Alright. So, let's here's a kind of interesting history perspective. So, we've been routing and running this. I haven't, but the community has been working on this game for almost 6 or 7 years now. At least that's when that's like the date of like the earliest SDA threads that I found. So we've had multiple ways to skip past the Free Rangers throughout the history of the run. The very first instance, and we usually call it mug skip because we skip getting the mug. The first way we found it was by a guy named Okiyama, who figured out that if you open the equip menu while the Free Rangers are shooting at you, they'll activate your iframes without giving you any damage. So we would use the equip menu to basically iframe our way through the encounter and skip having to get the mug. After that, we discovered that if you... there's an upgrade you can get called the backup battery, which restores you back to 20 watts if you die. And if you die, activate the battery while you're climbing a ladder. It will clip you through the ladder once you fall on the ground. And that will just allow you to go out of bounds to the foyer the same way that I did. And that used to be stupid hard, but with the power of menu clipping, we can get basically anywhere. So it's kind of free. So I'm going to be grabbing this last door. Hopefully I won't run out of time to open one last drawer here. And we should be good to go on night 1. Swag little thing I did there. If you hold forward, just as you're about to slide off a ledge, didn't get any. If you hold forward right as you're about to slide off an edge, you won't get like the teetering at the ledge animation, and it'll just fall straight down. So, yeah, that's the end of the first night cycle. We're sitting at 1360, which isn't too bad. The luck that you get from drawers doesn't matter as much in the first night cycle, and I will explain why coming up. I'm so used to splitting here. I'm like, wait, why is there this chat pop out on where my life split's supposed to be? But all right, so now we have over 1,100 moolah now. So now we have the money that we collected, just about as much money as we need to upgrade to. Oh gosh, dang it! The Chibi Blaster. So real quick, these cutscenes are random and play at the start of a new cycle. And if you get one, it's just a time sink. You're bound to get one at some point during your run, but it's never something you reset over. So we're gonna get even more exposition about Giga-Robo here, but this cutscene lets us deposit the Giga Charger in the Giga Battery so that we can recharge it towards the end of the run. Alright, just gonna quickly scroll down my notes. Yeah, so we're gonna get the Chibi Blaster here. We're not gonna use it right away. We're not gonna use it actually till the cycle after this, in conjunction with another piece of equipment called the Charge Chip. And so, the next in-game event does not incur for a couple of cycles. It's the 3rd day cycle. So we have this cycle and the cycle after to collect as much money as we possibly can. The big upgrade we're gonna get in the next cycle though is the excuse me, the Charge Chip, which I'll explain once we get there, but we only need 860 for that, so I'm just gonna try to grab a magic crap ton of moolah during this segment. That's the big important part. Ooh, fancy particle effects. Looks like that battery just came out of the dryer. Yeah, it's kind of funny because you have all of these cutscenes right before you start day 2, which is the first of many really hard cycles to come. So I'm gonna say no to save. We're gonna talk to computer terminal here by the blaster. So in this game, you can actually menu with both the gray stick and the D-pad. So it's just efficient to menu. In theory, you can actually menu like really fast, but like no one's that crazy. So we got the blaster now, and then you'll see this every time I walk out of the door of the Chibi house. But I'm actually not gonna grab my plug, and I'm just gonna walk straight out. It's the fastest way to exit the house, and that just gets the timer moving a bit faster. So we are gonna use our blaster here, but I'm just gonna actually kill Chibi-Robo right off. Press F. Can we get an F in chat for Chibi here? Alright. So, to do that as quickly as possible, I just mash A into the wall to rapid fire. And then I'm also running to continually run down the battery. So, we died on purpose. It was for the greater good. Excuse me. Throat's a little sore. So doing that gives us the trauma suit. So what the trauma suit does is it allows you to, using the pose, warp back to the Chibi house at any time. And normally it costs like 1,700 moolah. And that's a lot of moolah to have to route in. That's like another like 3 to 5 Chibi doors. And it's really slow. So we purposely kill ourselves because the first time you die you get the trauma suit. So even though we lose a little money to dying, it gives us this trauma suit at a really discounted price. So it's very money efficient. In the old route, when we used to do that clip through the ladder in the sink, we would also do this death abuse as well in order to get the unlock for the Chibi battery, which lets us do that wall clip. But we don't do that anymore because we don't live in 2016. Actually, that might have been 2015. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But yeah, a couple more cutscenes telling us exactly what we're about to unlock in the store. I'm not going to buy it yet. So something to note is that assuming that we get no extra stuff from drawers, we have about 88 moolah or so coming in here, and we're sitting at about 200, so we're around roughly 100 above the moolah route. Okay, so here's where things get crazy. Gonna do slides over here so I can just reset my camera position. We're gonna go on top of the lamp. Probably the first door most casual players will get. There's a cutscene for a tutorial that's supposed to play here, but if I go on top of this plug and I copter down to land on the cord, the trigger radius is so short that the little bump of the cord is enough to get you over the cutscene, and that saves 8 seconds. Gonna do an instant turnaround copter to be a little bit more battery efficient. Gonna grab a free 50 there as well. That one also refreshes every cycle, but it's pretty time inefficient to grab. And then we're gonna climb to the top of the lamp and get this Chibi door up here. This one we really like to get because it's 400, which is not an insignificant amount. And we get the 450, or the 50 coin at the top. So the door is really worth like 450. So doing more sliding up here. If my battery route is perfect, I'll be able to open an extra drawer before I have to recharge again. So that's what I'm going for here. Going to do a really cool trick called a plug drop here. Normally when you fall, you take fall damage. But if you grab your plug as you're falling, the plug grab animation gives you a ton of invincibility frames. And you can just iframe your way down any fall. And this works from about any height with some limitations. So we're going to get to these drawers here. I'm going to... my battery looks good. Okay, got a coin. That's pretty good. Alright, didn't get anything. Gonna do a trick called drawer glitch here. So we're going to pull this drawer out way farther than it's supposed to go. I do this by pulling it backwards and then switching my camera around with the L trigger. And then what that lets you do is take the drawer anywhere. And by anywhere, I literally mean anywhere. There's some really hilarious stuff that you can do with that glitch in a glitch exhibition. Probably don't have time to show that off, unfortunately, because I lack the saves to do so. But yeah, maybe if I get a really good time, I'll have time to show that off. Or some of the crazy stuff you can do with that. So we got the recharge. I'm going to safety save here, because if you thought that part was hard, this part gets even crazier. So I'm going to walk to conserve battery into the little cutscene, and I'm going to do a backwards slide to get my camera in a good place. And then we're going to get to the backyard. Normally you do need to open it up using the blaster, but there's a loading zone behind this door that... Come on. There we go. You can just clip through the door, and it lets you straight into the backyard. And that also saves like an 8-second cutscene. So now we're gonna get a ton of money really fast. So we're gonna do that by getting some doors at the top of this tree. So something you'll know about sliding, to know, is it's really hard to do. If you've played Smash Bros. Melee at all, it's essentially like the dash dance input, except you're going up and down instead of left and right, which is way harder. And you have less wiggle room from left to right to fail it. So like, it's more sensitive. So going in a straight line is really hard, and you kind of have to learn to react to when you see the camera move so that you can adjust yourself. So this spider web, I'm going to avoid this door because it's not enough money. This spider web, goodbye. You need the charge chip to get past that, but I don't have that yet, so I'm going to avoid it. And then this bird is a jerk and really hard to clip past. So excuse me while I try to focus on getting this set up. Okay, that's the first part. Okay, we got it. Cool. That's probably the hardest trick in the run right there. Single most. If you've played this game at all casually before, you might not even know this area exists. In order to get up here, not only do you need the charge chip, but you have to do like a giant, lengthy set of quests for this bird to make him go away. You have to wake him up. You have to feed him. You have to like make his bed. No, I'm just joking. But you have to do a lot of dirty work for him. And yeah, there's a ton of money up here. Most casual players don't see this area for like a billion cycles into the future, but we're here on the second day cycle because speedrunning. So yeah, so the reason we go up here is that you're able to get like 1,300 moolah in 3 doors, which is really time and money efficient. So this is like a one-stop shop for moolah. It's pretty incredible. Excuse me. So a cool little oversight that we're gonna do here is I'm gonna equip the copter and grab onto the ledge. And because of a programming oversight by the developers, if we let go here, doing the hover while we're holding onto a ledge or from that position won't actually drain battery. So that lets us just get to this door for free, and it gives us an extra 500. Without that, it's still possible, but you have to hit like every clip first try, and it's ridiculous. And just look how like little battery and time we have left. This section's really scary, so I'm really glad that I got everything here. So yeah, that's day 2. Really glad that went well. Didn't have to reload the safety save. Probably, that clip past the bird is also really difficult because it takes a finicky setup to get to the place where you can clip through it. Oh, we got a... Oh, okay, we didn't get a cutscene. Good. Oh, no, we did, actually. Thanks, game. We're getting really good luck so far. Lost my train of thought. Meep. But the clip through there, that bird as well is also really precise. Because if you clip too far to the right, you'll just fall and die. If you try too far to the left, you won't get the clip. And because it's a cursed surface, it'll just kind of block you. So really glad I got that and got to show that off. Pretty scary, but I had good battery, so I decided to go for it. So yeah. Going into night 2 is another money collecting phase. So going to pop out here. We have the charge chip now, which lets us fire a blast from the Chibi Blaster with increased power. What this means in the short term is that there are a lot of hidden Chibi doors that are invisible until you reveal their location with a piece of equipment called the Chibi Radar. But they're in the same place every time. So if you know where they are, you don't actually need the Chibi Radar. We're gonna get it later, but you don't need it quite yet. So we get the charge chip now because we decide to visit the kitchen now. So this is why we do this area on night 2 as opposed to day 2. Doesn't really matter too much, but alright, good 10 coin. We also get a bunch of drawers here, which is really nice. Okay. Give me something, please. Thanks, game. Alright, now we're getting all the 10 coins. In my practice, I was getting like hundreds and 50s everywhere. This game's kind of like that, where you either get the best RNG of all time, or you get the, like, just bombed. So, never something I'm too upset about. It's... The achievement comes from being able to, and I'll talk about this a little more in depth when it becomes more relevant, but the real achievement comes from being able to perform the fastest route, because doing so is pretty difficult. So, gonna grab 300 here, and then we're gonna navigate to... Oh, I'm not supposed to hover there, right? Oops. I can make this work. Oh, that's not good. Okay, we should be fine. Okay, so I'm gonna have to skip in the interest of saving time, swag drop. In the interest of saving time, I'm going to have to forego a 100 moolah chibi door that I normally get at this point in the run, but I'm going to try to fit it in somewhere else, and I'm going to hope that works. The doors have kind of been our nemesis at the moment, so I have a couple of backup doors I'll go for as well, depending on the RNG that I get throughout the run. So we're going to be, we need to hit this cutscene as well. That's important. So we're going to be heading into the basement now. And we're actually going to collect all of the door... yeah, I don't have the battery for that. Just doing some routing in my head. We're actually... there's 3 more doors in the basement. And we're going to collect all 3 of them in one run. Which is one of my favorite kind of strats. Gonna do another plug drop here to get to the cutscene. Luckily, we're not going to need an extra recharge. It's just going to be... about even with the money pace now, because we had about 100 moolah buffer going into day 2, so I'm okay with missing that door for now. We could grab it later depending on how the run pans out. You really never there's a lot of factors that I can't explain until like you can visually see them, which is kind of annoying, but alright. So this is Pico. So I said that we needed around like 16k to complete the run, and we need 14k going into the point where we fill up the battery, because it takes 10k to fill up the battery and 4k to get the last couple of upgrades. So the route grabs 7k, and then we perform, and you'll see Plankbeard fall victim to it, a mini game with this character named Pico. So Pico has a gambling mini game where it's a 50-50 roll. If you win, you double your money, and if you lose all of the money you bet. So, yeah, for RTA runs, it really sucks because you have to get it first try without a safety save to go fast. But for marathon runs, we can safety save, and the estimate actually allots for a lot of resets of that, so it's not a big deal. But that's how we're gonna get half of our money. And as far as history goes for routing purposes, long time ago we played it on a 3 Pico route. That was like really old school stuff. And for the longest time after that, we played on a 2 Pico route. So we would do the roll twice. And nowadays with new technology and just better routing, we only have to do 1 roll now, which makes it much more consistent. And yeah, it's a 50-50 roll. Sorry. So we're gonna see and get screwed a little bit. I'm dying of heat stroke, so I'm just gonna move my fan real quick. Luckily for me, I'm playing on a Wavebird, so I can just like kind of walk around my little apartment here, grab a snack. Thank God for the Wavebird. So yeah, I am playing on a Wavebird. I had a normal GameCube controller before this. This was my backup controller, but I was playing Melee Friendlies with a friend, and I was just not having a good day, and I spiked my controller and broke the board on it. So, we're playing on the Wavebird. That happened like 8 months ago, but still playing on the Wavebird. Because I'm done. Yeah, sure, I'll hand you a snack. Excuse me while I put down the run and travel across the country to hand you a snack. Hope you don't mind airline peanuts. Alright, so now that cutscene's done, mandatory recharge, and all 3 of the doors are accessed from the rafters, so we actually have to perform the early rafter skip again in order to access the ladders. So, also get some repeatable 10 coins here, which are important. Every little 10 coin is important, so... Do. I love his little footsteps. Okay. Don't fall. Well, let's just... oh, wow. I was really close to flying off. Alright. There we go. Okay, battery's a little sketchy. But we should be fine. Yeah. So there's actually a way to do that trick without using menu clipping. But the thing of it is that you would have to hover around a pull, and that was the way we did it for several years. But it turns out that menu clipping is way easier and saves battery, so it allows us to grab all 3 of these doors. You could do it with the old method with all 3 doors, but you'd have to play with a perfect battery route, and no human can play like that. I've done it like once before, and never again. Okay, thanks, Chibi. Alright, so playing it for super battery optimization here, I have to be really careful not to run out of battery, or we're going to be like 400 moolah behind, which is really bad. So these next 2 are also invisible chibi doors, so another big reason why we grab the charge chip. Alright, we should be fine on battery. Because due to the power of plug dropping, anything is possible. So I'm gonna do, didn't want to walk back in. So I'm gonna go for a rather precise plug drop here. If I do this right, there we go. I land on the brick, and that skips me having to pull them out. And so I can just get here with... Alright, we have 10 battery to spare. Or 9. But plenty of battery to spare, so not a big deal. And we're doing pretty well on time, too. So, nice. Let's see. Let me check my money to make sure I know where we're at. Okay, we're at 3,500. So we should be fine on moolah. Also, so this is the gunpowder. This is normally a quest item for Drake Red Quest sticker. Every character in the mostly every character in the game gives you what's called a sticker. Excuse me while I open up my snack. And it's required for 100% completion. And the game implies that this quest item is necessary for you to be able to get Drake Red Quest sticker. But it turns out all it does is just give you happiness points because the cutscene will still play anyway. So this important quest item is actually completely useless, and it's terrible, and I hate it. But, yeah. So I'm gonna chill here and eat my snack while I wait for the timer to run out. That's kind of the interesting dynamic with the game is first try with tricks doesn't always matter because... Oh no, I'm getting the hiccups now. Good grief. Coffee and hiccups. Oh no. This was a bad idea. Excuse me. So like, because you have so much extra time at the end of several segments, getting a trick not first try doesn't really matter because you just have to wait around anyway. Okay, we didn't get a cutscene here. Good. Saving time. Alright, I'm gonna safety save here just in case. This day is probably the scariest in terms of making sure that we can actually complete the run. The guys called the Spiders appear here, and a lot of luck goes on with that, which I will explain when we get to that fight, but this cheese stick is calling my name, so give me a moment. I am dying by the hiccups. This was a slight mistake, but... Ugh. Yeah, I'm leaning towards mistake. Alright, so... finish this last little bit and I'll explain spy doors. Reminder to y'all to stay fed and stay hydrated. So, spy doors, are the main antagonists of this game. So... excuse me. So, essentially their importance to the 80% run is that they drop scrap. And scrap is needed to build utilibots, which are then used to access the upstairs of the house, which is where the next main story trigger is. And this is the earliest we can access that. So we need to kill these guys. Luckily for us, they all give us, this fight always gives us the same amount, which is kind of weird. But I'm going to start by letting them walk a bit, and I'm going to just mash. And game's going to lag to hell and back. Ow. Not a big deal. I want to die, please. Thank you. So, like Moolah, they can drop 10, 50, and 100 scrap. And, we're going to be actually grinding for scrap to get all that we need. We need 1,200. And, they give us 490 to start. And we're going to do most of our grinding, hopefully in the kitchen. They can spawn in a cluster in one of 3 positions in the kitchen, and with 3 different amounts of guys. Oh, I hope they're up here, please. Darn it. Baited. Alright. Let's see if we got the good position. Or the next best position, rather. Okay, good. Okay. That's really good. They can spawn in another... oh, nice. There's 100. Okay. Nice! That's a good start. So the thing of it is that, if they spawn too far away, it takes too much time to, so what we're gonna, okay, let me explain. So what we're doing is we're saving and reloading, and, for whatever reason, the game will respawn the spy doors every time you do this, and this is another advantage to playing on the GameCube because of the faster, save and resets. So, this will allow us to get back here and reload the spy doors fight, and this allows us to essentially grind for as much scrap as we need. So, they can also spawn in different size clusters as well. They can come in, they can come in a size of 3, 4, or 5. 4 and 5 being pretty good, 5 being really good and 3 being kind of bad. I've gotten 3 of them in the worst position before, and that was a nightmare. That run did not finish. But obviously for marathons, there's a lot of backups and stuff, like grabbing the 10 timer just in case. So yeah, we can actually save and reset really fast in this game, which is really cool. As soon as you see the screen flicker, that's when it reloads all the data, or writes over all the data. So saving and resetting is really fast, and it's even faster on an original GameCube itself. So 50, good. All right, and that wasn't a great cycle. So I'm gonna keep doing this for a little bit. But yeah, I was really worried about getting worse position because it's just kind of a buzzkill if you get it. I haven't gotten the good position in a really long time now, which is kind of sad. Yeah, so speaking of minute details, I really like the reflective floors here. If I have time at the end of the run, I'll actually kind of show off how they did that. But I won't spoil that if I end up having time. Oh, double hundos. Oh, come on. Alright. So, what I'm going to do here as a adaptation, we don't need 1,200 completely right away. So, there's another cluster that spawns after, or in the foyer. So, I'm gonna get the last couple of them there. I also got a suggestion from my boy Single Scoop in the chat to grab 10 timer, so I'm gonna do that just to be safe anyway. And then we're gonna start buying all of the stuff we can get today. Oh well, too late. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna get the 5 timer back. I read that message too soon. I'll fix it. So now he's telling me safety. I am gonna do this for safety to give myself an extra 200 of moolah. So we're gonna grab 3 utilobots here. They're all ladders, so we can plug into them with our battery, using our battery, raise them up and use them as ladders. And the most important one to get is the one in the living room, or not the living room, sorry, the one in the foyer, which is the important one to get upstairs. We have to get the living room one in order to unlock the other 2, and we also need the kitchen for a piece of equipment later. So luckily enough, we have all the scrap we need for all 3, which is good. Sorry, finishing up that last cheese stick, so I apologize for chewing into the mic. Alright, so now we have arguably one of the best cutscenes in the game coming up here. If you're in the Chibi Discord at all, which I'll plug later, this is the Teriyaki Blues cutscene. So this is the grand reveal of the utilobots. Let me scroll down on my notes just to make sure I'm caught up. It doesn't get good until after this part. This is probably one of Tully's best moments, especially 90%. Yeah, big. Can I get a sour, please? Alright, so he's going to bless this with the power of song. With Teriyaki Blues. Oh. No, unfortunately I'm not going to be showing off the full song. I apologize. Alright, quick beat boop. Also rip. And now he's going to cry over the priceless piece of electrical equipment that we just so desperately grinded for. What a jerk. Alright, so fun fact here. Jenny's going to stand up and walk away. I was actually goofing around in free cam here on Dolphin one time. And if you look at Jenny off camera, she's actually just standing there in place, moonwalking off camera. Really silly. There's a gif of it somewhere. Alright, so enough of the Bilo cry. So I got the 10 timer as a backup. You're gonna see me grab the 100 coin here from behind this door again. So I'm gonna do that setup again. Nice, first try. Okay, second try. Good. So because I got the 10 timer, I'm just going to make the most of it by getting extra moolah. And we're just going to walk to the load zone. Oh, gosh dang it. I'm supposed to say no. I've done that twice now. I beefed it with Drake, now I'm beefing it with this. This one isn't as punishing. Marathon nerves, I guess. Alright, so we pump it 15 times, and then we go do the recharge. And while we're out here, I'm actually going to look for where the spiders spawned in, so I can nab them during this segment before I do the recharge. Let's see. Where are y'all? Gosh dang it, did they spawn? There. Right where I didn't look. Okay. Give me scrap. Thank you. Alright, so you're going to see me still sliding, even though it doesn't really matter, just to make the recharge a bit faster. And now we're going to make the climb all the way up to the bedroom. So, if I have the extra in-game time, which that appears to be the case, I'm actually going to go for a 200 door that's on the way. So now that we're up here because of arbitrary game limits, we are accessing the bedroom now. Gonna actually pick up the plug here. So something interesting to note, and if you've played this game before, you might have been yelling at me this entire run. I don't know if you weren't already. But, like, I haven't been picking up the plug too much. And the reason why is that, someone did the math, and the plug only, when you pick it up, only grants you about a 15% speed increase over just walking. So for a lot of stretches, it's actually slower to pick it up because of how long the pickup animation takes. So a lot of times, you'll just see me not even remotely concerned with picking up the plug, just because it does not matter in the slightest. Alright, so we reached the 200 door, which is good. Just so you're all aware, that hot rod right there is actually a drawer. When I was alluding to the fun stuff you can do with the drawers in this game, that's kind of what I was going for. But I depending on how fast this run is, whether or not we'll get to show that off in totality. But, so the big key here is to make sure we open these, slats, and we have plenty of time to do so. We open up the slats because the room is closed off at night, and doing that will allow us to access the room at night, which is when the next story trigger is, so... Gonna make the climb. Also, I really love the adorable little climbing sound effect that plays. Thing I really love about this game, and you've probably seen it throughout, or noticed at least, is that the sound effects that play when Chibi walks vary depending on the terrain he stands on, and they kind of make this like melody along with the background beats and music, which I think no other game really has that level of complexity to the sound design. Also, went around that bell to skip a cutscene. But, yeah. Yeah, maybe I do have enough time to show the drawer stuff off. Wait, can I get to... No, okay. Alright, I'm just gonna copter down for safety. Because we have extra time, now that I've realized this, let's show off the drawer glitch. So, this car can be pushed and pulled, because in a lot of spots, this actually, there's actually a stain under it. So that means it exudes all of the normal properties of a drawer. So if I perform a drawer glitch like this, I can pull it sideways. If I do it like this, I can actually make Chibi moonwalk with the car. And so you can sub in about any drawer or movable object in here, But I like to use the hot rod because it's by far the funniest. So if we pull it out way here, I can start pushing it from here, and I can actually shadow clone the car. So it really wants to go back to where it needs to be. For like, it's on rails, so it disappears and goes back. I can dance in place with it. And I can bring it here. And then, hold on, I need to remember where the setup is for this. Okay. Other cool thing is that, if I pull on it, Chibi has the powers of telekinesis, and he just rockets it off in the distance. And I can pull it back, forth, and back, and forth, and it's pretty crazy. And then, if I run off it like this, I just completely teleport somewhere else. If you do it really far away, you can actually clip Chibi into the floor, and then you can just climb up through the floor. But I put it in the wrong spot, so the effect wasn't as cool. So what it tried to do is just snap Chibi to the nearest ledge, in the angle Chibi was facing, which happened to be this one. So glad I didn't fall. But yeah, that's some of the stuff you can do with Drawer Glitch. It's pretty crazy, actually. So yeah, and now timer's running out. So that worked out really well on timing. I was going to try to go for another door, and, you know, honestly, I probably wouldn't have had enough time to do it anyway. So that's the end of day 3. Got past the hurdle of day 3. That's, like, one of the scariest parts of the run. Now we're moving on into the next unit, which is night 3. So we're gonna start off now that we have another. Oh, gosh dang, another cutscene. Good grief, game is doing everything in its power to mess with me today. So we're gonna say no to. Oh, okay. Say yes. Sure. We're actually gonna buy the last of the Utilibots here. This is the foyer warp, and allows us to warp straight to the top of the bedroom, or straight to the top of the foyer, and skip having to do the whole ladder sequence. And I wish they just gave us this, but I can't, you know, can't just go back and change the game. But we have it now, and that's really important to save time everywhere and make the entire run possible. But yeah, so now we have that. We're going to be heading into night 3. So this night is actually probably the most unique cycle in the entire run. And the reason why is that excuse me. The reason why this night is so unique is that the story event that we're going to be triggering in this cycle, as soon as you trigger the ending of it, it actually excuse me, it actually forcibly ends the cycle for you. So if we play this night well, we can actually save up to like 2.5 to 3 minutes, depending on how good our movement is. So we're actually going to be trying to move pretty fast throughout here. So yeah. So we had the foyer warp, which is a big instrument. I still have the 10 timer, which I totally didn't forget to go buy already. Whoops. But we're going to be going up into the bedroom to trigger the first part. This is a quest where the mom gets worried over finances because the dad is an excessive spender without being employed. So she's going to ask us to look for any missing receipts or anything like that, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing this cycle. Kind of plot spoilers if you're into that kind of thing coming up, but... Alright, now we get to see the mother again for the first time in, like, forever. Yeah, it's kind of interesting to have this kind of a segment during the run where all of a sudden movement kind of matters. So plug drop right there. And we are going to be going straight into a cutscene trigger. This is supposed to be the starting point for a side quest. You can actually skip this cutscene, but it's not worth it from a time management standpoint because the amount of time it takes to get around for how many times you have to get around it, is actually slower than actually just going through the cutscene. Is there multi-track drifting? The entire movement that we do for sliding is basically multi-track drifting, except, like, it's 4-dimensional drifting, because, like, we're drifting on, like, a 3D train track, so maybe it's, like, 2.5D? I don't even know. Alright, so we say yes here specifically to give us a smaller text box, and then we see a side character here for another sticker, but we ignore this. I love this character, but this is the only moment we get to see her. Unfortunately. Yeah, so the frog is freaking dead. Press F. Press OS frog. But, so I routed my battery specifically here. Even though we have to move fast, we still have to keep track of our battery here, because I need to make sure that I can have enough battery to do a trauma warp here. So I'm gonna talk to Mom, and I'm actually gonna go for kind of a risky thing here. I'm gonna say no here. Normally, she'll give you an extra 150 moolah if you say yes, and she'll give you some happiness points. And so, in this case, it's actually good because it'll give us an extra battery upgrade for the final boss. But to kind of spice things up a little bit and to save time, I'm actually gonna go for it without having done that. Just to make the final boss a bit more interesting. It's really kind of... Oh, come on. Alright, sorry, that's my phone telling me I'm dying, so apologies for that. It's pretty loud and I can't mute it. Yeah, so we did that, and now we're finally going to make use of the trauma suit. And don't touch the controller. And now we're going to go back to the Chibi house. This is one of the biggest reasons why we get it, is it allows us to skip all the way back there super duper fast. Saves a lot of time. That's the biggest use. We'll use it in a couple places as a backup strat as well. And we get the ghost suit for free. This suit is only used as a quest icon or item for a couple of stickers. But it's cool that we get to run around with this. And I'm going to buy the 5-timer. Oh, I have the chance. Gonna get the 5-timer back on so that we can do it. 5-timer for day 4 and nightfall. Save some time. Oh, I picked up the plug. Feels bad. Alright, so the toy receipt is hidden on the couch. And so I'm actually gonna, once we get, there's a invisible chibi door on the couch, and in order just to be cool and to show some stuff off, I'm actually going to do a really kind of crazy glitch. If you've seen a run of this game before, you might know what I'm alluding to, but if you haven't, I'll leave it as a surprise. Alright, so what I'm going to do, for safety's sake, on the money route, is I'm actually going to get this extra 50 coin right here, just because it's sitting here. In old routes, we used to abuse these 50 coins a lot, visit here several times in order to rack up some extra money. Get out of my way. So, some efficient battery usage here is I'm going to do a precise glide, so without holding down to hover. A couple of them right here to save around 10 watts or so off of battery. And then toy receipts right here. And then, I don't know why I'm sliding, if I'm going to show this off. Alright, okay, Chibi, pick up the plug, please. Alright, if I can't get this skip, I'll try to do it at another point with an easier setup, but, alright, so it should look something like this. Okay. So, we're out of bounds in the Chibi room, and... And now we're in the living room, or sorry, the foyer. So we accessed from the Chibi room, the foyer, and now you can see that my battery and my timer are frozen. So the reason that works is that the game normally disables your time and battery when you go into a chibi door. But the room that it puts you into is a spot out of bounds that is shared by all of the doors. So what that allows you to do is access a load zone from out of bounds, and then the game never resets the flag that says, "Hey, turn back the timer and turn back on the timer and battery." And so this just allows us to play around with zero consequence on battery, and I just decided to go on that to save a recharge. So yeah, this effect will stay intact until the cycle ends or until we exit another chibi door. And I was like showing that off there because it's actually a pretty, if you know how to menu clip, it's actually a pretty easy setup in several locations. I don't know why I'm sliding. I don't need to. So we found the toy receipt, so we're gonna give it to her. And she's gonna get very angry and lock herself in the room. And she's gonna get very angry. Yeah, something kind of weird about Mom's model is like her eyes feel like really too wide apart. Like, I don't know, it might just be me, but it's kind of disconcerting. But this is where like the story really starts to come to a full. This is probably the most important story trigger to hit. So at the end of this cutscene, you'll see the cycle end, and we're going to be moving on to the next cycle, which is day 4. Probably, if day 2 wasn't the hardest cycle, this cycle is probably the next hardest. Yeah, the eyes are weird too. So yeah, this will be kind of scary. So you will see me safety save before I do this segment of the run, just to be safe. Nice, I didn't get a cutscene. Okay. So we're going to the kitchen now, and we are going to go grab the spoon. The spoon is a piece of equipment that basically digs a hole in dirt. It's a shovel. But in the context of the run, what it's going to be used for is, in the event of bad RNG, it's going to allow us to get the bone. A bone. We call it the bone because there's one bone. This is not a boneless speedrun, unfortunately, in any route. But we need this bone as a quest item for later. So we grab the spoon now because this is the most convenient time to get it. So yeah, there's Sophie again. There's the mug as well, which we skipped. I don't even remember how long ago. I'm not looking at the timer because I just want to play and not worry about that. So where's my battery? Okay. Alright, gonna pump this 7 times. And then we're gonna go get the spoon. And there also happens to be a chibi door up here. So we grab an extra 250 here as well. There is a theoretical route that we jokingly call it the forbidden route that does not collect the spoon here. And basically hopes on the fact that you get the bone in the kitchen instead of the backyard where it's buried. But that's another 50-50 coin flip that's really late in the run. And we already have one of those in the run to begin with, so nobody does that yet. There may come a day when someone is degenerate enough to go for it. But luckily for us, that time has not happened yet. Alright, swag plug drop there. And I have to do another... Okay. There we go. Another plug drop there. Should be good to go. The in-game time is going to be a little scary, so I may have to do the glitch, the time stop glitch I get. It's called Chibi Room mode because we call it that because it puts you in the state of being in a chibi room. or like the Chibi door room. So we call it Chibi room mode, or I'll abbreviate it as CRM. If I'm running low on time, I'll do it as a backup strat. Okay. I did not know you can access it from there. That's funny. And now we're going to abuse the power of the Foy Orb again. Foy. I always pronounce it wrong. Oh, we got the Dizzy. That sucks. Oh, wait. It doesn't matter in this split. Never mind. Alright, so... they're going to try to figure out how to win Mom back. Because it feels bad. So, we're going to have to do some more story stuff for them during the split as well. Yeah, just some more cutscenes here. Yeah. Jenny is also adorable. Jenny is also a good frog. Jenny is protected from all and any criticism. Alright, so I'm actually going to fit in a recharge here. Just so I have enough to make the climb. I don't know how I'm doing on time here, so... I'm going to save here. Just in case, I'm going to try to do it without the backup strat. I want to see if I can do it and show it off. Okay, grab the thing. So I'm going to go for the route we normally do here. Yeah, this game's story is... for a Nintendo game, it's pretty sad. Yeah. Alright, so going back into the bedroom now. Now he's got that plug drop. That plug drop is actually way harder than it looks. Because the camera's funky. You have to do it from a sideways angle, and you don't have a lot of room to do it. So that's one that I practice a lot, just to make sure I have it down. Humph. Alright, so she's gonna give us a letter, which we give to the dad, who reads it out, and it's just mom. It's like mom's like letter of complaints, if you will. So we have to go back there. Luckily though, there is a loading zone behind this door that we can clip through. Oh, I didn't get the swag clip. You can clip out of a full running, full slide there, and it's super slick. But I didn't get it because I'm not as amazing as I could be. Unfortunate. What'd she say? Alright, so here's all the complaints. So to explain what's gonna go on in the next part, I have to grab 3 more Chibi doors, which is pretty tricky to do, all in one go, and the CRM is supposed to be able to help you through that. The movement's pretty tight as well, so you might see me be quiet for a little bit when I get to that section, but yeah, it can be a little bit tight sometimes. Alright. I love the epic rail slide they're about to do down the stairs. I don't know how they rip their clothes off, or how they don't rip their clothes off doing it, but... Alright, here we go. I actually have to walk around and to the right. There's a random invisible wall that appears if you do the out of bounds clip to get back to the foyer. Welcome tight on time. Alright, we'll make it work. Okay. We'll see what we can do here. Okay, I got that first try. Good. I'm gonna go straight for a recharge because I'm gonna need full battery to get to the first door that I need to grab here. It's also a relatively quick recharge compared to most because of being around half battery. Okay. Alright, so there's a small chance that if my movement's not correct, I may have to route out a door of this section in order to just save on time. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna try to get the two closest doors before I go for the last one. So we're gonna be going up this way and grabbing an invisible door. Most people, including myself, didn't know existed. I didn't even know this door existed until I started trying to route the game for the one round of Pico gambling. So, here's a pro tip for all you players. Efficient copter through here. And we're gonna copter to here. And there's just a door chilling behind this hat. And this will give us 400. Come on. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to get the third door now. So I'm gonna have to do some backups and stuff in order to be able to get what I need. Well, maybe I can make it. Actually, no, I don't think I can, so... Yeah, it does not look like I'm gonna get that extra 300 door, so I'm gonna have to do some routing on the fly to make sure that I get everything I need. I should be fine. I think I'll be fine, but... as far as money goes, so... yeah, okay. I was gonna go fish those drawers, but it doesn't look like I have the time, so that's unfortunate. To lose that opportunity, but there's nothing I can do. So, what we're doing here, actually, is getting a piece of fabric for Mom. And by doing this now, and this is the earliest possible moment we can do it, she's gonna she's gonna start working on making a costume for us called, the Pajamas. And with this, this is a very powerful costume. It actually lets you, reset, skip to the next day or night cycle, at any time. So it's a really powerful costume to get, and it's gonna save us like 10 minutes to get this, so. Also, this is also an amazing cutscene. Gonna shut up. We're much time do I have? Not much. Okay, let's grab this coin. Okay. Let's go through a wall for fun. Cool. Alright, there's another one. And another one. And another one. And... camera, please. Welcome. This is what it looks like. Oh, I didn't get to show that off too much, but... if I had the chance after this run, depending on where my time falls in line with estimate, and I honestly could not tell you at this point, but... yeah. Alright, so this is the last money collecting split. So this is the split where we go talk to Pico and get all the money we need. So, let me check my money real quick. I believe I'm a bit more behind than I'd like to be. So I'm gonna have to do some improvisation. Gonna focus here while I consider my routing. Okay. There is a good chance I have to play a bunch of backup strats in this segment because of the, so, yeah, we're gonna be playing this by ear a little bit, so you're gonna see me concentrating a bit to make sure that I can get all the money that I need. Okay. I think I have a plan. Alright, so we're gonna get some more doors up here. There's a set of like 3 doors that are, or 3 to 4 doors that are all really like close to within reach of each other. So those are the ones I'll be going for. I gotta move really fast though to make sure that I don't run down the clock too much. I don't have a lot of time to get this done. And then we got Pico. Okay, there we go. So just one sitting right here. Really convenient. Right, there is a good chance that I have to buy the 10 timer towards the end of the cycle. We'll see. Come on, is it this one? Yeah, I'm just gonna play it safe. I don't remember which. Oh, it's the wrong. Oh, there we go. Okay, I don't remember. You plug drop down to this one normally, but my brain just got super worked up and I didn't remember which way to do it. So. Alright, but now we're going to plug drop. There we go. And I'm going to grab this 400. I'm actually going to do a version of the drawer glitch on this to pull it diagonally so I can move it a bit faster and more efficiently. So there's an invisible door up here. This is one that I normally use as a backup. So good thing that this one's here. This is an easy 400, and then now I'm gonna actually collect that last 100 door that I wasn't able to get earlier. So yeah, that's kind of kicking me in the butt right now. But I'm actually gonna fish drawers here. I'll fish this one. Yeah, we're definitely gonna need 10 timer to survive, so I apologize for the time loss. Oh, 10, cool. I don't think this is enough. It might actually barely just be enough, but I'm not sure. Oh, I'm dead. Oh, crap. When did I last save? Oh, no. Oh, crap. Oh, oh, crap. Oh, my gosh. Crap. Shoot. Oh, that's really bad. Oh my gosh. I thought I saved. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Oh no. I don't think there's anything I can do right now. I don't think I have any backup saves. Let me check real quick, but oh shoot. Oh crack. I think I saved over the backup save. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, you've got to be joking. I am so sorry. That's Chibi-Robo in a nutshell right there. Oh my gosh. Oh, I feel like such a screw up. I'm so sorry. Okay, let me, hold on a second. Let me go to the stream and check the timer real quick. I'm really sorry. I really wanted, oh, I feel like such a, God, crap. Alright, where's my timer at? I'm at 1:40 and I have an hour. Yeah, I was about to say, if you're cool with me doing that, I can actually swap in for an all happiness objects run. So, yeah, there's nothing I can do in this situation because of the safety save. So, you know what? In order, you know what I will do though? What I will do to make up for it, and that's kind of Chibi-Robo in a nutshell. Sometimes your runs will just die, and there's nothing you can do about it. But what I will do, is I'll kind of extend part of the glitch exhibition sort of stuff I was doing with the, and I'll show off some of the cool stuff that you can find out of bounds. So, let's go to the kitchen here, and, I kind of mentioned earlier that, the floor has this reflective coating to it, so you can see Chibi's reflection. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip out of bounds, and I'm going to show you how they actually did that. So, if we clip out of bounds here and get my camera unstuck, what they actually did to make this work is they made, oh, a little spider out of bounds, goodbye. So what they did is, they put the entire room flipped upside down in order to create that reflective effect. So there's another Chibi-Robo, there's an entire copy of the room out here. It's just ridiculous. There's this giant, like, swath of stuff out here, and it's kind of cool, like, to think about, like, that's how they did it, to save on, like, processing power and stuff. Yeah, I'll probably still need that, I could probably short it to, like, a 5-minute break, because I won't have another hour to fatigue me, but thank you. I'm so sorry. I feel really bad, but I'm gonna try to make it up a little in some small way by showing off some cool stuff here. Make the best of the worst possible situation. So the coolest stuff out of bounds is in the living room. You may have actually seen one of the things. You saw the coin, but you'll actually be able to say something even cooler out of bounds here. So I'm gonna go out of bounds in the same spot. And if we go out of bounds here again, come on, you can actually see that there's this glowing ring of light out here. And so you might wonder to yourself, what is this? Like, what is this mystical floating ring out here? It's like this halo of heavenly light. Well, what if I told you that this is actually an electrical outlet? The developers just left this outlet out here for no discernible reason, and it's just big chillin' out here. You can save here, and you can actually reload out here too. It's actually it's pretty incredible that this exists. And excuse me. So you can save here, but I'll just carry on my way here. So the last thing I always like to show off. This is also the thing I like to do if I cap off a run, but fortunately we didn't get to see that today. But maybe next Valuethon if if it gets in, which probably won't. But so let's clip back out of bounds, and there's this chimney over here for like a fire pit, and they have it blocked off with this basket of fake flowers over here. And it turns out that the developers actually left an area to a loading zone here that was going to be put in the game, but never made it to final release. So if I clip out of bounds here, we're going to take a visit to Chibi-Robo's Existential Hell. This is an endless black void. If I try to run down the timer here, timer just stops and the cycle doesn't end. I'm gonna try to show this off. Yeah, your battery, spoiler warning, also doesn't ever like stop. So like your battery will drain and it'll say you're dead, but you don't actually die. And an interesting thing is in the Japanese version of the game, there's actually some more stuff out here, like some spider webs and stuff from the final fight. So it's implied that this might have been part of the final sequence of the game that just got cut from final release. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, that's Chibi-Robo. I hope what I was able to show off was at least interesting or impressive. I'm sorry I couldn't, again, I know I'm apologizing a lot, but I really wanted to finish the run too. So I hope that yeah, so I hope this makes up for it a little bit. This is also a soft lock. You can't pause, so you just have to quit the game. There's no walls to clip through. There's nothing. It's just, you're just stuck here, and there's nothing you can do. Which is kind of how I feel right now. But, so what we're going to be doing now is moving on to, well, real quick, I guess I'll just... We're going to be moving on to a bit of a different game, SpongeBob's Truth or Square. I'm running that as well. So if you're still, for some reason, interested in the sound of my voice, I'm going to be doing a game that I'm actually a lot better at. Not that I'm bad at this game, it's just the game decided to give me the middle finger today. But we're going to be switching over to that. Thank you for this opportunity, I really appreciate it. You can find me at Jaxler1 on Twitch if you want to check that out. So yeah, we're going to be transitioning into that next game. So see you guys in about 10 minutes.
Okay, I'll put up a splash screen here while he's getting set up.